Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for episode number 4 of Ryan L83's Community Career Mode series here on F1 2015. Of course, this is the series where every YouTuber drives as Kimi Räikkönen throughout the series. Today we are in the desert under the floodlights of Bahrain. I just want to say a massive thank you to Ryan L83 for actually allowing me onto the channel. If you haven't already for some reason yet you're still watching this video, that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. If you haven't subscribed to him already, make sure you do. As you can see on the screen, we're actually going to be starting in 4th position in this race behind the 2 Mercedes, and I can't actually remember who was 3rd on the grid. Might have been our teammate, not entirely sure. As you can see in the background though, it is predicted of course as a one-stopper race. Of course it's a 25% distance race, as all the other rounds have been so far in this series. But Bahrain is a track I tend to get on with. I've actually just done it on my own career mode, so we should be relatively acclimatized to this. As you can see, Vettel there to the left-hand side. The 5 lights though now on, and they are now off, and it's an okay start, but we've got a fantastic starting Felipe Massa right behind us. He's going to try and go up the inside. We've got Kvyat there on the outside. A good qualifying for him, but Massa's lunged up the inside of both the Ferraris, trying to get the switch back though on him. We're going around the outside now through turn 2, and we just about make it through, just going onto the curb a little bit, and the AstroTurf out wide. A little bit surprised maybe we didn't get an illegal overtake there, but we've managed to hold on, and we've made a net 1 position up in passing our German teammate Sebastian Vettel. Good start though for Felipe Massa, He's managed to make it up from 6th place to 4th place, but as you can expect, the 2 Mercedes are starting to gallop off into the distance there. Lewis Hamilton leading the race from Nico Rosberg after starting on pole. But now you're going to see the race start from on board Felipe Massa, and what a start it was, passing Kvyat and Räikkönen down into turn 1 and then lunging up the inside of Sebastian Vettel too. Losing the back end though just a little bit, a few twitches of oversteer, and I think that's perhaps what cost him as Räikkönen breezes around the outside. And again, very lucky maybe not to get an illegal overtake though. As you can see though, moving on to lap 3, and Kimi Räikkönen actually setting the fastest lap of the race there with a 1:32 point something or other. My preview isn't actually big enough to read that. But now moving on to lap 4, and the pace is looking pretty good. The DRS open, so we're within 1 second of the 2 Mercs in front. And the 2 Mercs are battling. Rosberg lunging up the inside of Hamilton. Both of them lock up under braking down into turn 1 now through turn 2. Looks as if Hamilton will just about hold on, but it's given Rosberg a pretty poor run out of the corner. We are tucked now right under the rear wing of the German Nico Rosberg, and down towards turn 4. We thought about a move up the inside, decide against it, and Rosberg holds on to 2nd for now. But both of us here, looks like Lewis Hamilton out of all people is the cork in the bottle at the moment in this little gaggle. Hamilton leading it, but look at the run Räikkönen's got on Rosberg. He's going to try and lunge up the inside down into the hairpin, locking up on the front right, but it looks as if Rosberg will just about get better traction. He does. That was very, very close to contact, but in the end Rosberg holds on to P2 here on lap 4. Meanwhile, behind we've got Sebastian Vettel at the moment, making a move on Felipe Massa, the man who passed him down into turn 1 on lap 1. Massa, though, sticking it around the outside here, and there's a little bit of contact, bit of wheel banging, hence Vettel throws up his hand in disgust, and he's actually been punted out wide there through turn 2, and a little bit of opposite lock there. Not entirely sure if he got a bit of contact from behind. Now we watch this battle on board from Valtteri Bottas. Vettel getting very, very close to spinning off there, and as you can see, there was contact between Valtteri Bottas and Vettel. It's allowed the Finn to get a very good run though down into turn 4, and he's lunged up the inside. Massa's still in front, very close to contact. Bottas there with the oversteer, and there's an engine blowout in front. It's Felipe Massa. It's all going on in the battle for 4th place. We're on board now here with Felipe Massa. 2 cars battling behind, and that Mercedes power unit has given up on the Brazilian, and he is out of the race from a very, very solid looking 4th place. And that's promoted Vettel now, Kimi's teammate, up into P4. But as you can see, Kimi himself is trying to make movements here on Nico Rosberg, and he's done so. Easy move, breezing past the German with the DRS. What an exciting race this has been so far, onto lap 5 only, of course. And Kimi Räikkönen now up into P2 with only Hamilton in front of him. Meanwhile, going through the final corner now to end lap 5, and we're just actually going to pit on this lap, basically. We're going to try and get some sort of massive undercut on the 2 Mercs here. It's a risky strategy, but it's a very aggressive one nonetheless. Now, both Mercs actually going through, which I can only assume means that one of them will get stacked. Obviously, Nico Rosberg is behind Lewis Hamilton at the moment, so if they both pit on the same lap, he's obviously going to have to wait for Lewis Hamilton to be served by the Mercedes mechanics, and then get his turn for putting on a fresh set of boots. But in the meantime, obviously, if he does go out then for an extra lap, that's lap 7 that he's coming in, so he's then doing the same amount of laps on the primes as he is on the options, and obviously the primes are meant to be more durable. That isn't really going to work. We've come out of the pit lane though on cold tyres, and we're down in 16th behind Fernando Alonso, but as you can see, the whole field has pitted on the same lap, and we are racking up some positions here, already into P2, and that's Lewis Hamilton down, going into turn 1. He's still on cold prime tyres. We've got them up to temperature, and we're looking for the switchback move. Hamilton just about defending it for the moment, but we should get a much better run on these warmer tyres out of turn 2, and we're already making the move here on the Brit up the inside down towards turn 4, and it's already job done before we even reach the corner. Good move there from Kimi Raikkonen. Good stuff there on the sort of undercut switchback manoeuvre to get past Lewis Hamilton, and that is the lead of the race. Meantime, we've got Daniel Ricciardo, who actually got stacked behind his Russian teammate Danica Kvyat. He's trying to work his way back through the order, and he's in doing so, passing Fernando Alonso down into the final corner on the track. And in the meantime, we've got Lewis Hamilton still with us. Obviously, he's got the DRS behind us, and in that much faster Mercedes, it's got a lot more straight line speed than our Ferrari. It's going to be very difficult for the Iceman to hold on, keep his cool, if you like that. I'm sorry, that pun must have been used like at least 27 times in career mode series, but nevertheless, he has to keep his cool. It is the truth, because he's now got Lewis Hamilton right behind him. On the next lap, he managed to hold on at the end, at the start of lap 9, and he's doing the same here at the start of lap 10. Lewis Hamilton going for an identical move, trying to get around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen, but again, for the second time in a row, unable to do so. Meanwhile, we're on board with the other Red Bull now, Ricciardo's teammate. This is Danica Kvyat, right behind Toro Rosso, but we're suddenly going very slowly, and as you can see behind, there's a plume of smoke coming out the back of that Red Bull, and that very unpredictable Renault power unit, has given up on Danica Kvyat, and Felipe Nasr there getting a face full of smoke from the back end of that imploding Renault engine, and we're down to 18 cars now in this race. Massa and Kvyat both out. Meanwhile, back to the race at the front, and Lewis Hamilton has made a move here on Kimi Raikkonen for the lead. At the end of that second DRS straight, which usually makes no difference whatsoever to anyone's race, but Lewis Hamilton has actually taken the lead of the race using it. Going up into rich fuel mixture there is Kimi Raikkonen. He's going to try and get straight back on the attack, already closing in down towards the final corner. Obviously, if we find ourselves behind Lewis Hamilton in future laps, that might be a decent place to overtake. Meanwhile, though, going on to the start-finish line to start lap 12 now, we've got the DRS, and surely this should be an easy move like it was on Rosberg earlier on in the race. We've passed Lewis Hamilton. It's a pretty poor time to get an achievement on this game, but still, we've lunged up the inside, and we have made it back into the lead of the race. Kimi Raikkonen now leads again here with only pretty much three laps to go from the two Mercs. Hamilton right behind us, and Rosberg still behind in third, dropping it back down into standard fuel mixture because we don't want to run out of fuel. That would be an absolute catastrophe. You're now moving on to the final lap of the race, and Kimi Raikkonen is still in the lead, but look at this. Lewis Hamilton and his teammate Nico Rosberg are absolutely all over the back of Kimi Raikkonen. They are surely going to make a move at some point on this final lap, because Raikkonen's tyres obviously did the undercut, so he's had to spend a lap longer on these prime tyres. Hence, they're going off a little bit more than the two Mercedes cars behind. And surely he's got a terrible run down into this hairpin. He brakes very, very early and very cautiously, not wanting to lock up, but it's allowed Lewis Hamilton to make a stunning move around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen, and that's for the lead. And with only half a lap to go, Raikkonen needs to respond. He's not got the use of DRS down that home straight because the finish line will have come before he can effectively use it. So he's got to pass him before the final corner. Otherwise, this is GG, no re, and he's not going to take the win. Using the DRS down that second straight, and we're still very much in contact with Lewis Hamilton, very close to the back end of this Mercedes. And going through this quick right hand of the dirty air, flinging us out wide a little bit there. Maybe a bit of track extending, perhaps should have let off the throttle a little bit, but Kimi Raikkonen wants to win this race. He's going to get the slipstream down into the final corner, and Raikkonen's going up the inside of Hamilton, down into the final corner. Surely he's not going to do it. He is. He's taken the lead of the race. He's won the race on the final corner, and Lewis Hamilton will have to settle for second. It's a dramatic end, and Kimi Raikkonen takes the win of the race. My goodness gracious me. His first win in a while. He steps up onto the top step of the podium here in Bahrain, and it's another win for Kimi Raikkonen in this series. Lewis Hamilton, well, he's clapping Kimi Raikkonen, but surely inside he'll be absolutely stinging from that final lap move. Raikkonen giving him the hip and shoulder up the inside down into the final corner of the final lap. And my goodness gracious me, one of the most dramatic endings to a race I've seen in a while, but it's ended in the win for Kimi Raikkonen, second for Lewis Hamilton, and third for Nico Rosberg. Here you can see the full classification. Sebastian Vettel in the other Ferrari taking fourth in front of Valtteri Bottas, the sole remaining Williams. It was a good race for Grosjean and Nasser taking sixth and seventh respectively, with Hülkenberg and Sainz also taking points, and Daniel Ricciardo unable to really recover from being stacked in the pit lane, of course, this being a one-stop race, so that was his only pit stop, and he got stacked for it. And only 1 point for Red Bull because of the retirement for Kvyat, so they sort of sacrificed Ricciardo's race with the stacking, and then the guy who they sacrificed his race for, Kvyat, ends up with an engine blowout. But still, they're just confirmation of the points that each driver picks up after that astonishing race. Kimi Raikkonen getting the full 25 from Hamilton with 18, and Rosberg with 15. But I hope you did enjoy this episode of Ryan's community career. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you do subscribe to him, support him out, because this is a great thing that he's doing for the community, getting YouTubers on his own channel. It's really cool that a big YouTuber is in fact doing that, so subscribe to him and support him out. Support him out. That just doesn't even make any sense. Help him out and support him. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe to my own channel. I'm sure a link will hopefully be in the description below, but make sure to subscribe to Ryan first if you haven't already. It has, however, been a pleasure ranting at you guys today after such a fantastic race on this series. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.